¿Cómo estáis? Welcome back, or welcome here. My name is Frederica. I'm a yoga and mindfulness teacher. I live in London, and this is literally my third video. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Comment any questions you have below so I know what you missed from this video so I can address that for you. And let's begin. So today's video is really just almost like a part 2 to my last video, which if you haven't watched, go ahead. So the last video was talking about yoga teacher training, if you're thinking taking one, what to do, what to expect, what not to expect, and all that, the ins and outs of that. And today is really just focusing on the after graduation part and the process of once you finish your teacher training, again, what to expect, what to not expect, what to do, what not to do, and so on. So let's begin. I think the first question that comes into mind to lots of people is quitting their job. When is the right time? What should they do? I think things have changed a lot, obviously, over the pandemic and over the last year and a half. And I think lots of us realized how much security is important. Some of us were in more privileged positions of keeping our jobs. Some of us may have even lost our jobs or just had a very slim income. So I would say be very conscious and mindful, obviously, of the particular time which we are in at the moment before quitting your job. Make sure if you want to quit your job, you either have enough savings or you have a really good plan on how to sustain a good income. Building a clientele when you start teaching can take time. It requires consistency, so don't give up if you have a very small amount of people showing up to your classes, or maybe just one, sometimes even none. That's okay. We all started exactly in that same spot. So I know how you feel. It can be disheartening sometimes, and it might make you question of your abilities to teach, whether if there's anything wrong with it. And no, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just people creating new habits takes time. Going to a specific teacher, a specific yoga class is a habit, and it will take time for people to build up to that point. Maybe the people that you're approaching at the moment are probably mostly your friends, colleagues, and not everyone's into yoga. Let's just face that. Not everyone likes yoga. Yoga has a really bad rep. Has a misinformed representation in the Western world, let's say it that way. Be aware of lots of people having a wrong idea of what yoga is, and it's really about us teachers giving out more information about what yoga is as the whole of the practice, not just the asana, not just the physical side, but the spiritual, the philosophy of the yoga. What are the other limbs of yoga? What is mindfulness? And what's the whole purpose? What yoga means? And different ways that can look like and can fit into your everyday life, and therefore create a space of well-being, wellness for you that you can reach to every day and that you have in your everyday life, which will then essentially bring that contentment, that happiness into your life. So it's hard to kind of just like give it all out in one class to people. It's impossible. You shouldn't, or you don't want to kind of over explain, and it's just not possible to give everything in one class. So it takes time for people to show up on the mat, come back regularly enough for them to see the benefits of the yoga on their lives, not just on their flexibility or strength. So don't be disheartened, and just bear that in mind that it takes time. So maybe quitting your job instantly might not be for you. For some people do that, and that's okay. It's a great, I'm really proud of you if you are able to do that. But I'm also proud of you if you're taking your time on your teaching journey. So really, I'm just gonna straight dive and talking to you about the income, what income to expect, because that really will determine whether you're gonna quit your job or when you're gonna quit your job and so on. So if you're gonna teach in a studio, so let's start with studio classes. Studio classes usually pay a flat fee, a flat rate for your class. Now, this rate will really depend on the city you're in, on the area you teach in. It can range, I think the minimum is around £20 up to maybe £40 in London. But realistically, when you're starting out teaching as a new teacher, expect to be paid somewhere between the £20 to £30, more on the 20 side. And then later on, as you grow your experience, you might be able to go into a higher pay rate. The way the pay rate can be increased within the yoga studios is with reviewing the studio with the studio owner, your class attendance. They really push for a good consistency, which means that your numbers are either increasing or they're staying constantly on the same spot. Like you always have, let's say, 10 students, yeah, or you started off with 5, but now you have 10 to 12. What some studios also do, another thing you can negotiate if they don't do, if you've been teaching for them for a while and you see a good consistency in your classes or a progression, is to get paid extra pounds per head. So let's say there is a minimum that is expected to be in the class for the studio for it to be kind of made sense for them to run the class. Let's say that's 8 students or 10 students or 5 students. Every studio has like a different number, and then past that number you get a plus £1 or £2 per head. Yeah, so then if you have, let's say, 5 students, that's a £20 for you, but then every single extra person comes in, you get an extra £2 or £1, then that's gonna add up for you. Another option is for you to rent a space, and then obviously everything you get on top of the rent is your income. The only trouble with this, it's even more unstable because you don't get the flat rate, right? So you might be putting out more money than money coming in towards you. So if you want to go with this option, I'd say do it at the point once you have enough clients, once you know that there will be a list for people showing up, so you can, even if you're back to square one, then you at least had the opportunity to practice teaching, but you haven't lost money. That brings me to next option, which is teaching online. And now this is a really good option, I think, especially in this year. I know the market is oversaturated and it can feel like a bit of a dread. Not many people might want to attend, especially when there's no current lockdowns going on. But I say still try it, because it gives you, you lose basically nothing. You don't have to invest anything pretty much. You can teach over Zoom. That will allow you to build up the clientele, and if you know that some of them are local, you will then be able to transfer them into an in-person class if you, for instance, rent out a space. You can also teach outdoors, which is another cost-free option, of course weather dependent. If you're going to be teaching either of the online, outdoor, or you rent a space to teach type of thing, create a booking system. This will allow you to make sure that the clients pay to you before they come to class. You can then apply a cancellation policy that's, let's say, 12 hours before class or 6 hours before class. So you make sure that you are paid and you don't waste your time. Oh, doorbell's ringing. I wonder what that is. So you can either create your own website and take the booking from there. For that you will have to obviously pay, and you will have to update to some kind of pro version of your website, whether that's through Wix or Squarespace. So there are also different apps that you could use that have basically all the features. You don't need to build a website and you can take payment through them. So look into the different options, do your research, see the different prices, and I'd say take the cheapest option when you're starting out. Don't go for the perfectionist. I'm like that, and I think at the beginning I wasted so much money that I could have saved. just pushing for the better and more pro option for everything to look professional. I think at the very start, semi-professional is absolutely acceptable and actually very wise and smart thing to do, because number one, people don't really care too much about how great the design or whatever it is. Is it functional? Can I book? Can I pay? Do I get a confirmation email? That's it. That's all they need. And also people appreciate seeing you growing in your business and growing with your teaching and whatever, and they absolutely understand that you are not they can't compare your like the services that, you know, well, not your services as your teaching, but your services as like the website and this side of your business to be as good as the yoga studio that's like a massive corporate business. So we are up and close and personal now because my camera's dying, so I had to plug it, so everything has to be moved. And I've got an ice cream for my sister, so will be a minute. Next thing on the agenda is building your website. I built my initial website using Wix, and now I'm swapping to Squarespace. I would probably recommend going with Squarespace. Of course, it's a very personal thing. They're very alike. I just find that I like the designs of Squarespace a bit better. And yeah, I just think the design is a bit nicer. I like the options, the templates are there. But to be honest, using Wix was very easy, and actually I was a bit struggling getting used to using Squarespace after I've been already used to using the Wix website. Just go with whichever you want, to be honest. Price-wise, they're pretty much the same thing. Don't overthink it. And again, probably go with the cheaper option at first, maybe the cheapest pro option or whatever business option is available, so you can take bookings through the website if you want to. Another thing you can consider using if you don't want to put together a proper website and save some money is using like a Linktree website, also a Milkshake. That's the one I'm using, so it's like the Linktree but it's a different brand, and I just like their designs a little bit better. Show you my Milkshake. So you literally go to my bio, there's the link, you click on it, and then there are the classes, the outdoor classes that people can book at the minute. They can click on it, will take them to the page on the website where they can book. And then there's also like a bit about me. This is for my private classes, a little bit of marketing, feedback from other clients, other links that I have. You can put this in any order as well. You don't need to have all of these. You can literally just have the links. Whatever you want, you can make it your own. I went with a very simple design, but they have many different designs and I really love them. And I also have one page for my YouTube. And that's it. And then the number 3 thing is creating a mailing list, which I don't know if I already mentioned in this video. I just filmed 2 videos in a go, so I'm a bit confused. But create a mailing list. It's very important, it's very helpful, and people take about, how many times is it? I think at least 7 times to be exposed to something before they buy it. So marketing on social media, you think you might not see lots of likes or a huge number of following growing up, but being consistent and constantly showing up. I'm not saying you need to post something twice a day or even every day, but just regularly, like a few times a week, let's say, or even if not a post, but you just stay consistent on your stories and you show up every day there. People will remember you mentioning, oh, I'm teaching here, or like showing snippets of you teaching in a park or online or whatever. People will be exposed to what you do, and with increasing the exposure, the likelihood of them booking into something will increase, obviously. And then having them on the mailing list is kind of the same thing. You're keeping them in loop of what you do. You can also add some special things into a mailing list, make them feel a little bit more special. Also because you kind of want to, well, number one is you want to kind of show them what your teaching is about and what your offerings are about, and it's a great way of giving them a little snippet of like maybe like a few minute video of something that you do, or maybe a blog post that they can read, that they can reflect, like a journaling prompts or something, giving them something that reflects a part of your offering. And then if they want more, then obviously they already know what they're buying into roughly. Your time and expertise is valuable, so don't give out too much for free. Don't teach free Instagram live classes a week and then do free emailing extra stuff and then whatever, because you will get burned out really quickly. And then because you're gonna have so many freebies, people won't see the point of paying for your paid classes. So have some things for free, but be very mindful of how much and what it is and what's the purpose of it. For the private yoga, which is something I do, I enjoy teaching because number one, I can offer so much more and tailor to the particular person's needs, the class, and you can also involve so much more, or I like to involve so much more personally than just the asana. It's also very rewarding seeing your students progress and in their journey, and you being part of that. It's amazing. And obviously you get paid a lot more, and it's a good secure way of getting a good chunk of income in. But again, there's only so many private clients you can probably take on in a week. Maybe if you're considering keeping your current job, rather than having a lot of studio classes around it, try to have a balance between private and studio classes around your current workplace, because the private will give you more income, which then will allow you in the future to obviously take that leeway out faster, or save up more money for more courses and so on, that you might want to take, investing into your business again, into yourself, into your knowledge. For private clients, you can charge anywhere from £50 up, I'd say, especially if you're in London. Obviously, again, depends on your country, so your country might be different to where I am. I'm in England, but here I charge £50 per hour, and I do a discount when people buy 5 classes, and that's usually what people buy. People prefer to actually buy in the bulk, because then they are more committed to come to the classes regularly. They save some money, and also it's good for you because then you already have that chunk in your account. And send them an invoice receipt. I just use Canva to create my invoices. Canva is one app that I don't mind paying for because I just use it for everything. I use it for my social media, for like my Instagram posts, for if I want to create flyers that I want to print out and leave in cafes to again market myself, for any type of branding, creating logo, creating invoices, creating if you want to create like an online program or something like that, creating the material in there is a lot more fun than using a PowerPoint thing. At least for me, I just enjoy the design aspect of it here better. Basically then just have them saved, and then I know what I took, I know how much tax I need to save around 30% of the money you take, put it aside into an account that you're not going to touch, because at the end of the year as a self-employed you're going to have to tax these things. Another account to actually follow on Instagram for all of these like legal stuff of things is Lucy Legal, I believe that's what she called. Definitely go check Lucy out. I mentioned in my last video, I'm going to mention again, 2 other coaching accounts that would be beneficial for you to look into coaching, business coaching, because this is not something that's really covered in your teacher training, and it's very helpful. I think in 2021 you kind of have to be an entrepreneur to make money in a sustainable, consistent way, where you don't have to struggle with teaching 20 classes a week in studios. I know for someone maybe coming from a normal job where you used to work at least 40 hours a week, 20 hours don't sound a lot, but you need to remember that 20 hours aren't just 20 hours. Those are the 20 hours you taught a student on a math. But there's also the time of preparation of the classes, the time of travel there and back, the cost of those things. 20 hours is a lot in the teaching world. Yeah, you do want to have layered up your income and do some studio classes maybe, so you can get the exposure to different students, that they can follow you on social media, and then they can see what else you do, and then that way they can get into your retreats, to your workshops, to your online courses if you do any, to your online classes in case there's a lockdown. Lots of the studios won't keep all of their teachers, they let go of many of them, so you will have to find income elsewhere. And potentially become even your private client. So definitely. And then again, this is where the mailing list comes in. Get their email addresses, get them to sign up, keep them in loop of what you're doing. Yeah, and then don't be afraid, don't be ashamed of using your social media as a marketing tool. So the 2 accounts I wanted to mention was M Hackstep, I'm gonna pop her up, and then Mindful Business Coach, whose name is Jem. That will be very helpful for learning how to create a business using social media for marketing, how to be confident marketing online, what to consider in your branding, how to create a niche within your teaching, how to attract the clients within that niche, who are those ideal clients, and build the pillars of your brand. Consider yourself as a business person, as an entrepreneur, rather than just an employee. Teaching yoga, you're not an employee, really, you are self-employed, and you are the only one responsible for your income. And yeah, when things go wrong, like within the pandemic, you have to cover your back and you have to be creative. And this is a good thing though, you have to look at it from the positive sides. Yes, things are not handed out to you on a silver platter. You don't get, and this is another thing you need to consider, you won't get paid holidays, you won't get paid sick days off. So this is really why you have to layer up your income, so you can then have passive income as well. So things like from the courses, online courses, or from creating YouTube videos, or having on-demand videos available for people to buy either directly from you, from your website, or using a platform like I mentioned in the other video. Moving is a great platform for one of these things. There are other ones as well. So you're not in a tricky spot if you do end up injuring yourself. As a yoga teacher, you have to move a lot. You can get an injury like anybody else, or you want to take a holiday, you want to see your family, you want to go to the beach again, normal human needs. So to be able to fulfill that, you will have to have some kind of passive income or a good amount of savings. I will also give you one more account to follow on Instagram, which is called Yoga Teachers Union UK. This is specifically for when you teach in UK. And yoga teachers not having their labor paid accurately to what we actually work. We are paid for that £20 in the class, but does it really cover all the other things that go within that? The hours you have to spend creating the class, the time spent traveling there, the cost of traveling to that place as well. So yeah, we are a lot underpaid. And we don't have any security, which was really highlighted in this last year and a half. So following them, you can learn a lot, and you can take an active part of this community. And another thing I would recommend, there's a podcast that's really good for new teachers, or any teachers in general, but particularly new teachers. I think it's great. Let me just find it. It's called Teaching Yoga. You can find it on Spotify for sure. Really explains well different struggles you will bump into as a teacher and how you can overcome them. and how to make your teaching sustainable. Yeah, again, if you got any questions, I would love to see them. I would love to read them. Please post them below in a comment. You can also follow me on Instagram. I'm there every day pretty much. I always am on my stories, and I try to keep a balance between relaxed, normal life stuff, and then helpful, supportive mindfulness and well-being tips. And I do the same thing on my posts. On my posts, they are a little bit more up and down. I post when I feel like I should, and when something is calling me. So the consistency there is a little bit more up and down. But do come and follow me, and you can also message me there if you have any questions. And I can also explain them further in videos if that's something that's like worth unpacking. Anyways, enjoy your day. Thank you for coming. Follow, subscribe, like, share, all of that. And I see you in the next one. Ciao!